So, welcome to this special conversation with a visionary leader who is redefining the space for women entrepreneurs in India. Today, we explore the journey, challenges, and impact behind one of the most influential platforms for women led enterprises, the IMC Women's Wing Exhibition. It's not just an event, it's a movement that blends empowerment with enterprise. Let's begin by unfolding the story behind this inspiring initiative. Okay, so here the lady, Rajalakshmi Garu. She is the chairperson for IMC.
President of IMC.
President of IMC.
Ladies.
Ladies and gentlemen, now we have a exclusive excerpt interview. So, Rajalakshmi Garu, so while talking about the vision and purpose, every great platform begins with a vision. What was that aha moment when you realized this exhibition could become a voice for women-led enterprises across India?
When woman says, I want to do business, a daughter-in-law, wife, men don't immediately invest if it's a woman. If it's a man, son, anybody, they are willing to take a risk, they invest. That is the way in India things have been working. And today women are educated and now they are forthcoming with a lot of ideas to do business. And they want to do like whatever aesthetically interesting, designing clothes or making business, jewelry, whatever. When they say, I want to do this, I'm good at that, that's my passion. They say, it's okay, do it in your room, in your house, in a garage, very condescendingly. They don't invest. So she takes little money and works on that, and very carefully she evolves her business. And only when she proves herself after a few years, then they think, oh, she's okay, then we can invest. So otherwise they don't. So how will they get platform to showcase? From a garage and all, how much can you sell? So we give a platform. We do in Bombay, in Geo Convention Center. We had done 2 days exhibition. 23,400 people came, to buy.
That was big, actually,
Largest.
Yeah.
And we had 850 people who came for about 4 months. We went through a lot of selection process. They come from Calcutta, Delhi, everywhere. But we give in Bombay, they don't have shops. Only those who are doing from the garage and their houses, we give in Bombay. Outside we allow them. And people come with their stories. Come from Agra, Dehradun, some smaller places.
Yeah.
And they say in our entire community, हमारे घर में कोई ऐसे गए ही नहीं बिजनेस करने के लिए. अपनी अपनी सूटकेसेस लेके वो लोग आते हैं to check in and come here, new places, and still bold, and they come. So they started coming, and when they do well, they suddenly they wake up. The family wakes up. Oh wow, she's doing so well, better than even the son.
Okay.
Then they start investing after a few years. So she establishes herself as a designer. So we give that opportunity. Otherwise, their dreams will be so.
Basically, you are providing the opportunity for everyone who wants to be a part of this, who want to make it big, who want to showcase the collection. Fine. So was it born from a personal experience or a gap you noticed in the ecosystem?
There has been a gap throughout.
Okay.
And I was lucky my father, different generation, studied in London. He wanted me to study in US when I was just 16. He sent me to US to study. He said, you should now start evolving. Do something big in life. Don't be so attached to us all the time. Life is ahead of you. So that's how he moved me to think differently. So did my mother. So I did my MBA, then I went to US, did my MS in advertising, came back and then didn't want to do advertising because I didn't want to write misleading statements. Because there's no one in India who had my degrees in advertising. Masters in advertising is an unknown thing.
Okay.
I'm talking many years back.
Okay.
I gave up that and I said I want to serve the society. I became a judge in different layers. Then I went to National Commission, Consumer Commission, wrote a book, Consumer is King, released in 12 languages. Always wanted to do something for the country, for others, not just for yourself. You must share, your feelings and thoughts and help somebody else.
Okay.
So that's my thinking always. So, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, now IMC. So we are doing a lot of stuff. Now we have a legal wing. Exhibition is just one. We have like 10, 12 other verticals.
Yeah.
The other one is on legal. So sitting judges come and talk to them about how their rights should be established in life. So girls are now understanding.
Okay.
Otherwise they're in their own la-la land. नाकेमी अब कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.
Okay.
मुझे कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.
Okay.
उनको हो रहा है, मेरे लिए कुछ नहीं हो रहा. When the husband dies or leaves, or father, somebody, they disown her for whatever reason, with her kids or not, suddenly she's lost. She doesn't know where to go. She has no idea whatsoever. So we actually talk about all these things so that they are prepared in life and become established. And now another one I want to push is they should know their finances. Whether it's a Sridhan or their finances, what they're earning or what their rights are, they should know. If you have equal right in the house, we establish it. If you have equal right in the properties, if it's your father's property, establish it. Law allows you. Whatever is allowed. I'm not saying people should unethically do. What ethical and right and good governance way things should be done.
Okay.
But unless they know, so they have to be aware. So in my presidency this year, this is where I'm going. Financial independence. Know your money, where your money is, and know how to spend it, how to save it, how to invest it. Don't look to somebody else. They can suddenly invest your money and all things could have been gone, vanished, because you trusted. So take advice, but you make sure that you know where your money is. Then only people respect you.
So, going into the next topic, empowerment in action. Beyond inspiration, how do you ensure empowerment here translates into real world growth? Tangible business deals, partnerships, or opportunities for women entrepreneurs. Could you share a success story that deeply moved you?
You know, a lot of women do business and hope they're successful. Just like men lose in their business, they also have pitfalls. They come back. I find now women at the age of 50, 55, they're starting business for the first time. Can you imagine? Whoever thought of these things? More opportunities are coming and world is opening up. So they're doing business. So what moves me is when they want to do and the people are not allowing them. Then these girls are so sad. They come to us with the stories. Each one is a story, each stall is a story. And then I see, they say, you know, in my family, I'm the first woman to come out to do business. Small village, you know, or small town, they don't allow. Somehow she's pushy and she comes, this is everything for me. I have to be successful. Please give me a place. Because we have to decide, no, we can't give everyone. So when we hear these stories, I get very moved. And then I'm also helping girls of poor and deaf in 18 states. When I see their stories, it is something else. At least other women are all a little bit established, educated. These girls, they don't give them food also, the parents, because they're deaf. They think it's a shani in the house. They skill them. They can see everything, what they must be thinking. So every day I don't complain in life. I should be grateful after seeing what they must be going through. That person, I could be that person. What is the difference? If I were born to a poor parents, I would have been like this. I'm deaf. What difference? They're good looking, they're intelligent, they're smarter. God gives them better brain than us. So these
So
are the things.
that gap actually, instigated you to actually start up this. So how long has it been like? You can give me one line. Then next we have a couple of questions. How long has it been? It's been running. The ladies' wing.
This is 38th year this exhibition is going on.
30?
38.
38?
We have
38?
2,400 members in Bombay.
Okay.
And it has been 60 years since we started our ladies' wing. IMC. It's an old thing.
Okay.
But the seed also is something my father told me when he was doing Nagarjuna Sagar Canal construction. I was very young. He took me to the top to show me how the work goes on. So those days it's all made. They used to take all the mitti and then not too much of machines were used, mostly man-made. They would be like this, like ants, people walking and all like that. So then my father told me one thing. I said, because I'm able to afford your education and your clothes and food, you're happily looking at everything. Remember, in life, God made us all equal, same way. It is just that they have to work for that money to be able to feed their children food and send them to get them clothes and all that. So they're still poor. You have to work for them. Never think that you are anything special. Remember to always hold their hand.
So challenges. Curating diversity was never easy or is never easy. How do you make sure both grassroots innovators and established brands feel equally seen and valued on this platform? So, do you have a selection philosophy or curational framework for that balance?
We have, first of all, a very big committee, especially for the exhibition we are talking about.
Yeah.
We have a committee of people who are seniors who have already been working, and I have a very young, youthful committee, 40%. For the first time, I brought in a lot of youngsters because they're very good at social media, they're very good at their ideas, and they will not bow down to anything. They will say whatever it is straight on your face. I wanted to bring that in. I wanted to bring youngsters. I said this is the time, so everywhere I brought in youngsters. So they bring that youthful flavor. They are people for tomorrow. Otherwise, nobody wants to leave their seat. Recycling is the same thing. You must allow them to give ideas. So they all came in and gave ideas. So this kind of a continuous growth of all these people is total transparency. We all have to say yes, and then only the selection is done. It's like on the bench. All of us have to unanimously say in consumer courts. Otherwise, I can write a separate order. It's like that.
So, next is convincing the market. So, women-centric events often face skepticism with big ticket sponsorships. How did it convince partners that this isn't just a cause? It's a catalyst for business growth. Any advice for women-led projects pitching to corporate sponsors?
I think we still find it difficult. I know you're right. But luckily, I think the present government is very much in favor of women. All laws which are coming are in favor of women. Supreme Court is giving judgments in favor of women. And Modi ji is always, championing the cause of women. and Beti Bachao kind of a thing. And the thing that they said, you must have a toilet in the house. Things like that has started. So awakening has come. People are just suddenly woken up, and I'm happy because whether it's a maid or in the village, they now know how to buy products online. I might have spent like much more. They are very smart. They get the same thing, slightly different material, same design, and they wear. And I'm so happy. We are all equal in the eyes of God, and they're all getting smarter. That is the way it should be. Equal opportunity. You can afford a 2-bedroom. I can afford a 1-bedroom. We both have a bedroom to live in. You might be having a bigger car and small scooter. It's okay. Transport. The balancing is very good. And now things are all working out. Women are not taking it easy. But still, we have to empower. There is a psyche's mind is still old minds. Today's girls are different. They treat everybody equally. Earlier, boys were always treated as though they are something else. Girls are always like.
So, leadership and representation. Do you feel women leaders in trade and exhibitions are still underrepresented? Do you feel? And how are you personally breaking that ceiling within your own ecosystem? So, follow-up question is: have mentorship or role models played a role in your journey?
There is a mentorship in a particular way. I had Justice M.B. Shah, who was on the bench, who was from Supreme Court, he was earlier Bombay High Court Chief Justice, and he was on the bench with me. And then I felt that people look down at you, lawyers. They won't answer your questions. You equal on the bench, but still they don't reply. Then I had to fight for myself. I say, counsel, I asked you a few questions, you didn't answer. Before you go to the next topic, please answer my question. I had to speak for myself. You have to fight your own battle. You can't say somebody else will say, I'll fight it for you. So then after that, I was on the bench and I had certain different thinking about many issues, about judgments while giving the judgments. I would sit in the chamber, explain to him what I think. Being a Supreme Court judge at that level, it's his greatness. He said, your point is right. He would rewrite the whole judgment. So he was very honest to his core. So you have to be that inside. You cannot fake it for long. So he has been my mentor. If he can, at his age, they are much younger to him, allow me to think equally, although I'm equal on the bench, but let me put up my thinking across. That itself is a great honor for me that I have actually achieved. So these are the type of mentors, not a business mentor, but just mentors. I was also on the board of Tech Mahindra. Anand Mahindra is a different caliber. He respects everybody on the earth. So humble. That is what I want to learn from people like that. Whatever you do, emulate these good people in life. You can't go wrong.
So, how do you introduce new age elements like sustainability, digital showcases, and technology without losing the exhibition's heritage charm? Is there one innovation this year you're probably proud of?
Yes, very proud. Not in Hyderabad, first time that you here.
Yeah.
In Bombay, we did the entire exhibition sustainable. There was no plastic, no flex. Everything was material recycled. Everything that we did was recyclable. There was no waste. Every waste was recycled, managed, and sustainability. It came from the youngsters. They brought it and we made it. We can even get a letter from them. Geo has done the exhibition as a place. We partnered with them in that area, and then we have, because you can make clothes, recycle materials, everything. So I'm very proud that we could do this here. We started first time, so I'm very proud of that. That's something different.
Okay. Going global. So, do you see the IMC Women's Ladies Wing exhibition stepping onto the global stage soon, perhaps with international buyer tie-ups or cross-border collaborations? Which countries or regions show the strongest synergy with your vision?
Actually, when we did in Geo, we had international lounge. First time we brought international lounge. They came here from different countries, France and Portugal and Dubai and perhaps London and Indonesia, some other countries. They came and they showcased. We had a lounge, international lounge. First time they've come. So whereas earlier IMC had done exhibitions also in London, Hong Kong, Singapore, many years back. But of late they have not done. We thought of doing it in London because people came from London and said, we've never seen anything like this, please do it in London. Then we thought with all these wars and all this happening, I didn't want to take any chance. Everyone said, you're from Hyderabad, let's do Hyderabad. It is a good market. Okay.
So, talking about Hyderabad, you are also from Hyderabad, right? Can you tell me a little background about you, like how, it has been like, living in Hyderabad, and then I think you moved to Mumbai, and now, with today's event you came back to Hyderabad. So how does it feel?
I love Hyderabad. I love Hyderabad. It is a most cosmopolitan place that I have ever known. It was not like this. There were very lazy people earlier. Ab beach aaya, abhi gaya, sham ke liye, we go for a mark sheet or something, that man will come 11 o'clock and then they'll say, abhi chai ke liye gaye, aayenge, very laid back. Bombay was like fast track. But today, everything has changed. Hyderabad has become another level. This high tech and technology and all that. Hyderabad is a different scene now. So I'm very proud the way it has grown, the way the whole country is looking to it. Being a Telugu girl, I'm very proud to come back here. Always proud wherever I am.
So, turning setbacks into strategy, every organizer faces that one moment where things are nearly falling apart. What's been your toughest challenge so far, and how did you turn it into a defining you? What did that experience teach you about leadership?
My toughest leadership happened when I became the national president of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. What happens, different regions, northwest. So, first time they had a woman national president in 56 years. They're not used to that. So, they all come from families where some of them, not all, some percentage. You just need to have 5 people also, they can spoil the whole game. They would say, oh, she's a woman, what do you know? Because they're so used to speaking like that to their wives at home. Kya malum tumko? Chup raho. That attitude. So for them to listen to me was very difficult. Very difficult. Then I could have just resigned and said, get lost. I don't want to take all this. After being a judge, I don't want to take all this rubbish. What is all this? Kuch kaam dhanda nahi hai. I'm trying to help an organization. It's not like I'm being paid for this. Self-esteem gets hurt. In no way am I less than them, the thinking. Then I realized on the bench that taught me. You have to hear both sides. Then only come to a conclusion. just by reading, thinking that I know it all doesn't work. They're arguing, then suddenly one particular point comes to your mind. That's the crux of the whole judgment. Unless you hear the whole thing, the evidence doesn't come across right. Right question gets the right answer. So for that you need experience, you have to have patience. So I had done that. 18 years is a long time. That taught me a big lesson. Patience. So I would, it was tough to put up with this kind of thinking coming from people. But I have to lead. Can't let myself down. So I would hear both sides of discussions, and whoever is opposing any particular resolution or whatever, then I will call to Kerala, their members, other Gujarat, various people who are like-minded. I will explain to them one-to-one confidence. So regionally, everywhere I will speak to people separately. This is my mind. My intention is this. Some other sidetrack discussion is happening. I need your support. It is for the good of our organization. When I went one-on-one, everybody is good. Then the people who are behaving like this, they turn against them. And eventually they had to resign and leave because they realized they were not doing anything good for the organization. Organization first, your seat is important, not you. That should be the way you have to be, otherwise you should not occupy a seat. So I think eventually people see. If you're a dishonest person, dikhta hai. If you're honest, also they can see. You come around. They may take time, but they'll come back. When they come back, they'll with you like this.
So, okay. When commercial expectations meet social goals, there is often a clash. How do you maintain authenticity while keeping the exhibition aspirational and financially strong? Do you see value-driven storytelling as part of your brand strategy?
See, everything is very, very clear. You have to have a good product. Your service has to be good. What are consumer code? Defective product, deficiency in service. Companies which were big, where are they now? They have come down because they did not wake up in time to understand things are going ahead. They were still in this old time. It's gone. So everything is going to change if a product is not good. So we keep telling all these people about the products. Sometimes some B-town girls come with nice one, but there's some small difference in the product which doesn't sell. But we want to give them an opportunity to be commercially successful. Being on the committee, people are already smart. So then we request them, do you mind when we give you the stall, we will give you some ideas. Are you okay to adhere to these ideas just to scale your business? Help them, hold their hand. Their exposure is not there. So help them. Only when you associate yourself and put yourself in their shoes, you can help.
So, 5 years from now, how do you hope people will describe the IMC Ladies Swing exhibition as a trade event, a movement, or a legacy project for women in business? If you had to define its spirit in one line, what would it be?
They've already arrived. Already people talk about it. That's how the numbers came. So they've arrived. But my theme is only one thing this year. Evolve to excel.
And your journey reminds us that empowerment isn't just about visibility. It's about creating ecosystems that sustain growth and inspire the next generation. Thank you for sharing your insights and vision with us. Before we wrap, what's one message you would like to give to aspiring women entrepreneurs who dream of showcasing that work or their work on platform like yours.
My message is not to women. They've already woken up. My message is to men. It's time they wake up and understand that they're left behind somewhere. If they don't wake up in time, women are going to take over in so many ways more than one. So I don't have to really tell too much to women, but men have to wake up and treat them with respect. Give them that self-respect that they deserve.
Okay. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Rajalakshmi Garu, the president and the chairperson of IMC, Ladies Wing Exhibition. And I congratulate her for this event in Hyderabad. And let's hope she comes up with more events in Hyderabad. And good to see her. Thank you very much.